Hi, I'm Jac Collinsworth, and welcome to Distance Training. We're all trying to stay safe at home, and that includes the world's greatest athletes. So as they try to stay both mentally and physically sharp, we're going to be right there talking to them. Let's get zooming.
It is my great pleasure to welcome a true Notre Dame man turned star tight end of the Minnesota Vikings and Kyle Rudolph. So, Kyle, how is the family? How's everybody holding up? What's the quarantine plan for you guys?
We're going well. You were talking before. I said we're getting used to the new normal and crazy, uncertain times in our world. But we're getting along. We're getting used to this new normal. We're keeping the kids busy. Thankfully, we've got some gorgeous weather in Minnesota right now, so the kids are able to get outside. We're able to get outside, and yeah, we're getting used to this uncertain but new normal time.
When do you feel like the first time was where you realized this coronavirus thing was going to be something substantial?
Well, I think for me, it was the Thursday when, NBA shut down, NHL shut down, they canceled the NCAA tournament. You had heard about it, you had heard rumblings. We were actually in California, and my wife had looked into if it was safe for us to travel because there were people starting to come out and say that they would limit traveling. But we, talked to a couple of pediatricians. They were like, the kids are fine, go for it. Wash their hands, carry on. And it was when we were in California was kind of when things got crazy. Like I said, that Thursday, all the major sports leagues shut down. The PGA Tour played their Thursday at the Players and then didn't play the rest of the weekend. So that's when it was like, okay, the entire world is shut down. Hopefully we can get back to Minnesota. Then we're able to get back to Minnesota that Monday and been kind of just posted up here ever since.
With the little ones around the house, what do you tell them about what's happening around the world right now?
Well, we try to explain to them, whether it's driving through the little town that we live in and, they see the ice cream store that we usually go to and treat them with, and they'll ask, hey, can we get ice cream? And we're like, no, the ice cream store's closed. They ask why, and they understand that there's a virus going around that's very serious, and then they say, okay, we'll get ice cream when the virus is gone. So just explaining to them that this is something that's serious and that we got to pray for these people who are really struggling with it. Thankfully for us, for the most part in our family, all 5 people, if we were to get it, we'd probably be just fine. But we, again, you don't want to be one of the ones that's spreading it because that's not the case for everybody. So we've posted up here in the house. I've had to adjust my off-season workout plan, playing a lot more, stay-at-home dad, but still making sure that we're doing all the things necessary for me to stay in shape because we don't know when we're going to go back to work.
What percentage of your typical off-season routine, specifically at this point in the off-season, are you able to get in right now from home?
So for me, I'd say, most of the training facilities, our facility, the Vikings facility got shut down all week last week. So I was able to go. There's a Exos at the Mayo Clinic downtown Minneapolis. I was able to go down there for the majority part of last week. And then Wednesday of last week, that got shut down as well. So the back half of the week, it resulted in going back to old school, middle school workouts. You don't have a weight room. You don't have a facility. All you have is your yard, your street, your driveway, body weight, push-ups, sit-ups. We got some bands around the house too. So I was able to mix that in. But, you really go back to your roots and you do the bodyweight squats, the lunges, run around the yard, run in the street, do things that you did when you were a kid before you had these world-class facilities to train in.
And is that better or worse? I mean, is something about getting back to your roots? What's your opinion of it?
It was fun. Definitely, fortunately for us, we do have some fitness equipment here at the house. And actually, Friday of last week, I got a tonal machine installed. And it's basically a weight room similar to the Peloton style, if you would. So it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's mounted to the wall, and I can do every exercise that I would do in our weight room at the facility on this machine. So that's really helped me this week. But for, like I said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of last week, kind of getting back to your roots, doing these push-ups, sit-ups, bodyweight squat, lunge type workouts. It was fun for a few days. It wouldn't have been sustainable for the foreseeable future. But it was fun to get back to that for a few days. But now I'm glad I got my tonal up and running, and I was able to get a great workout in the basement this morning.
And Kyle, you've been so great at not only accumulating, but also managing your money over the years and giving away, being so generous with it in certain ways. What has these last few weeks taught you financially, in particular, about how the world can just shift in a matter of seconds?
Well, and you hit the nail on the head, just saying in a matter of seconds, things can get turned upside down. And, thankfully for us, my family, my kids, we're in a situation where just because I'm not going to work every day doesn't mean we can't put food on the table. Our lights are still going to be on. And that's not the case for everyone around the world. And I think that's part of the reason why, my wife Jordan and I wanted to do the meal plan that we're doing here in the Twin Cities at Second Harvest Heartland, and provide meals for kids who don't know where meals are going to come from now that they're not going to school every day, or for families who were already food insecure and now mom and dad aren't working or aren't working the hours they're accustomed to working. So that next meal becomes unknown. And to be able to kick off our meal plan and give 82,000 meals to Second Harvest, we just hope it impacts this community that's supported us for a decade now.
And at some point here, mental health becomes a factor for everyone. I mean, I got to admit, I've had good days and bad days throughout whatever it's been, 16, 17 days so far of being inside. How have you approached things psychologically?
Well, I think, having the kids around, being able to still get my workouts in, really the only thing that I'm not doing that I could be doing, say I went to the facility every day, is that 2-hour window where it's kind of just my time. With the kids running around the house, you don't have a lot of your time and just peace and quiet where you can let your mind kind of wander a little bit and just reflect. Don't have that a whole lot. Now we rely critically on nap time, but usually during nap time, that's when you're trying to get your work done around the house or do things that you need to get done that day. So, like I said, for me, from a psychological standpoint, I just count my blessings. I realize how fortunate we are to be in the situation that we're in. And that's not the case for everyone. So trying to extend a hand to help people here in the community, to do some stuff at the hospital with the kids who, we made the end zone so they had a place to escape the hospital. Well, now the end zone as a common space is shut down. So these kids are now confined to their room again. So what can we do to help them out? And my wife was able to get a ton of people to donate games and toys and things that we could take down out of them. So I think that's the biggest thing that has given me the right state of mind, is just realizing how fortunate we are.
In your mind's eye, what would be the bare minimum in order to start the off season so that you could have an on-time start of the regular season?
My rookie year, we started with training camp. We went straight from the lockout to training camp at the end of July, and we picked up right where we left off. Obviously it would be great to have a normal off season, to be able to have those 9 weeks of phase 1, 2, and 3 off season workouts, practices, mini camp, but it's been done without them before. So the biggest thing that I focused on is making sure that I maintain my physical shape, if you would, what I built over the last month and a half, 2 months. So whenever that time does come where we get the call and they tell us that the facility's back open and we can get together as a team, that I'm ready for that step. And, the worst thing you could do now is you've done so much through February and March to lay a foundation and just kind of squander all that progress you made. So, for me, it's just about staying in the shape that I've put myself in over the last 2 months. And I don't know when that call is going to come, but whenever it does come, making sure that I'm ready.
And somehow the NFL CBA still gets done this offseason. Why now? Is that the right time in your opinion?
Well, so I mean, I'll be honest, I voted yes. And I voted yes because, in my opinion, this proposed CBA is great for probably 95% of our league. And it's great for so many guys. It's also better than the CBA I operated under for the last 9 years. Yeah, I do think we could have held out and used that 17th game for more. But with that being said, I felt like it was a deal, and if it's black and white, yes or no, I was voting yes. So I was one of the ones that voted yes. I'm glad that that business is behind us. We don't have to worry about what a lockout would look like next offseason, and we can just get back to playing football whenever that is.
So as they went back and forth talking about the owners, and it seemed like the owners really wanted to get it done now. And it seemed like at least some of the players wanted to wait. What do you think were the factors that pushed it over the top in a close vote?
Well, I think, like I said, if you look at it, it benefits a majority of guys in our league. But I also think there's something to, if you look at any negotiation in our industry, it always goes down to the 11th hour, whether it's players' contracts, CBA negotiations, it's almost like, well, it doesn't affect us now, so we'll wait and we'll get it done before we miss a game. So I never really worried about, the CBA being something that wouldn't get done. I just, in my experience in the league, it's never been something that would have happened. So I think it's just a great opportunity for us to move forward with a deal that, like you said, it was a close vote, but it was a vote that a majority of the players accepted. And the bottom line is it's better than what we've been operating under for the last 9 years. So we've got it pretty good, and we should realize that.
So with every other major sporting league delaying or having to push back, whatever it is, with their start of the season, even the Olympics getting pushed back a year, how do you think the NFL has been able to keep everything on schedule so far?
Well, I think it's just the timing of our events. If this would have hit in the middle of the fall, I feel like we'd be just like everyone else in the world and be forced to shut down and be forced to postpone things. And for us, it happened in the off season when, we're not even together for organized team activities yet. It impacts things throughout the draft process where, guys aren't having pro days, guys can't go on visits. But, as being around that industry, most of the time at that point, like these teams have scouted players, they've watched tape for months. They're really just checking boxes. And they have a pretty good idea of these players coming out. So I guess to make a long answer short, nothing's been of such significant importance that we've had to move it. We can kind of just continue on.
What about for draft prospects? I mean, what stress do you think this is putting on them in their process?
Well, I think back to my draft, and had this happened during my process, I had hamstring surgery in the middle of my last year at Notre Dame, and my pro day was pushed to the latest point in April, and I had just about 6 months exactly from when I had my surgery to when pro day was going to be, and I wasn't able to participate in the combine. The combine for me was strictly medical. It was to have my hamstring MRI'd, examined, kind of checked off by the teams, and then I was a combine recheck as well, so I had another opportunity to pass a medical evaluation, and then I had my pro day. So I would have had, I don't know how many question marks of teams that would have been uncertain if I was healthy. They would have never had an opportunity to see me healthy. So it definitely puts some added stress on some guys in some certain situations in the draft. But then it also allows a lot of guys who went to the combine and had great combines to kind of decompress and now start training for what they actually do for a living, and that's play football. They don't have to worry about training for a pro day or, basically we call them track meets. It's completely different training than what you're going for to prepare yourself to go in and perform at rookie minicamp.
So, Kyle, I'm seeing the decorations on the wall behind you. Is there a favorite game ball in the bunch?
Yeah, I'd probably have to say, and it's not even for a full game performance. We did win the game. We beat the Packers in the opening game on Sunday Night Football in US Bank Stadium, and I caught the first Vikings touchdown in US Bank Stadium. So that's painted up and on the shelves here in the background, and pretty special. That's something that will always be in Vikings history, and able to get the ball and put it here in my office.
All right, this is our lockdown lightning round now. I'll hit you with 3 quick ones and get you out of here. Past or present, anyone through time, who would you most want to join your quarantine crew?
Past or present, who would I want to join my quarantine crew? I want Chris Farley, and I want Chris Farley because at this point it's all about entertainment. To have a guy like that in the house, make the kids laugh, make us laugh, we'll have a good time.
Speaking of entertainment, what have you been binge watching as we go?
Oh, so my wife cheered in high school and cheered at Notre Dame, so we just knocked out the cheer documentary on Netflix, and now I need to get into the Tiger King. Apparently that's the hot one right now on Netflix, so we're gonna have to check that out.
No, you need to. You absolutely need to. What do you miss most about normal life?
Probably just right now is our off season. For us, family, friends, everyone knows that, from the end of July until February, we're pretty much unavailable. And right now is the time to where, we go see people. I have no family here in the Twin Cities, but this is now home for us. So we had trips planned to go back home and to see family, to see friends. Those are the things that I miss about normal life. Life here in the Twin Cities, like I said, we're getting used to this new normal. We're making the most of it. But right now is the time of the year, according to our schedule, when we can go see people and do things that were put off until this time of year.
So I was reading on the interwebs that your quarantine ID is the last thing you ate plus your high school mascot. So that makes me the oatmeal bluebird reporting. What may we call you, sir?
I am the peanut butter and jelly panther.
All right. That's pretty damn good right there. The playoff game winner, 82 in purple and gold, Kyle Rudolph. Awesome seeing you, my friend. Stay safe up there.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jack. Always a pleasure.
So our next guest is a 23-year-old prodigy coming off a career year in Jack Eichel, team captain for Buffalo, and you're spending the quarantine in Buffalo. What's the quarantine plan right now? How is this playing out?
Yeah, as of now, I'm still in Buffalo at my house, but I think, I definitely wouldn't mind, going home. It's like a 6.5-hour drive to see my folks at some point over the next few weeks, but I feel like we got a lot of time on our hands right now. So, just trying to enjoy every day and find things to do.
So is it an apartment? Is it a house? I mean, how do you go about, I think all of us are equally as stir crazy. I try to spend about my day in about 6 different rooms just to change it up. How do you go about killing the time right now?
Yeah. It's good to bounce around different rooms in the house. Definitely I have like a little workout area that I can get a pretty good lift in. And, if you're able to just get out and walk around the neighborhood or, it hasn't been terrible. I think I've been doing a pretty good job of trying to find things to occupy my time.
What was it like for you on the night when everything paused at once?
Yeah, it was weird. We were in Montreal actually getting ready to play there the next night, and we had a team dinner with all the coaches and management and everything. Just end of the year, we had one of our team dinners that we usually do every season, and just talking with our coach, he's a pretty knowledgeable guy. He kind of had an idea that things might stop abruptly, and he was kind of hinting at it to us that, just remember, like, with this coronavirus going around. We don't know when our last game's going to be. And, you know, we split from dinner and, you know, I'm just sitting in the room watching TV. And then, you know, it comes out that the NBA is going to suspend their season. And it just seemed like it was kind of inevitable that, you know, the next day would, you know, would either be our last game or they were going to, you know, suspend the season before that. And, you know, obviously they went about it, suspending it that afternoon. And we just flew back to Buffalo.
And I was reading that your mom is a nurse. I mean, how does that shift your perspective on what's going on right now?
Yeah, it's weird. Actually, probably like, you know, a week prior to the coronavirus really hitting hard in the States and us going into, you know, the quarantine lockdown, my mom, she took a, you know, month and a so paid leave. My dad just had shoulder surgery to, you know, completely replace his shoulder. So my mom took a month and a half off from work. And, you know, then this all happens. And, you know, obviously you're really happy that, you know, she's not in the front lines. And just when there's someone so close to you that's there. And I know that, you know, I spoke with her yesterday and she says some of her friends that she works in the unit with have gotten the disease and or the virus, and you know, just from work, and her unit's been split up, and they've talked about how you know, how hectic the hospital is. And I was just asking her opinions, and obviously she's happy that she's home and in a safe place and taking care of my dad, but she definitely admitted to a little bit of guilt, feeling bad that, you know, she's been with these other nurses for so many years, and, you know, she feels like it's a bit of her duty to be there. But you know, I definitely know that you know, I sleep better at night. My dad, my sister, we sleep better at night knowing that she's home, and you know, it's unfortunate. And, you know, I give everyone that's in the front lines, you know, so much credit for doing what they've been doing and just trying to follow a little bit of it on social media. And, you know, all the credit to the doctors and the nurses and everyone in the hospitals who's been, you know, really taking this thing head on.
So what's your mom, after the conversations with some of her friends that have been battling this thing on the front lines, what have they said? Maybe specifically those that have had COVID so far.
Well, I mean, she's a nurse and she's still going to work. I mean, she's still like, it's not, I think she just recently contracted it. And you know, this is somebody that works with my mom in the same unit, but the way my mom described this, she works in ambulatory surgery, so it'd be you know, post and pre-operation preparation and taking care of patients. And, you know, obviously there's not a whole lot of surgeries going on right now with what's going on in the world. So, you know, the hospital split her unit up into different sections to help you know, take care of you know, some of the COVID patients. And yeah, so I mean, I didn't get too in depth about it, symptoms wise and things like that. But I know that you know, she has said that, you know, just from being in the hospital, one of her friends has contracted it, and she works at a pretty big hospital, Boston Medical Center. So I mean, this was a few weeks ago when she told me that they were in, I wanted to say maybe like phase B emergency, and you know, I don't know exactly what that entails, but I know it's pretty serious. So that's a few weeks ago. I can't imagine what it's like now.
Jack, so after the month off that your mom's taking to take care of your dad, is she going to then go back to work? I mean, I hate to say it, but it does seem like there's a possibility at least that this thing could extend beyond that. I mean, how are you approaching all that?
Yeah, I'm not really sure, honestly. I don't know what her plans are. I don't know what her exact date of return to work would be, and I don't know what her plans would be. It's yeah, I mean, it's really tough to think about. I mean, yeah, you never know. Like, you obviously, I can't tell you how my mom's feeling right now. I mean, just from the conversations I've had with her, like I said, I mean, she definitely feels a little bit guilty that she's not there working. But, you know, I think I would be a mess if I knew that she was going to the hospital every day and what she had to deal with, and you know, the risk and the possibilities of what you know, what that entails. But you know, obviously that's her job, and she loves her career, and that's why she's been doing it for as long as she's been doing it. So I'm not really sure. I can't tell you what will happen in a few weeks, but I just wanted to obviously be safe and stay as healthy as possible.
Well, we'll all be praying for him, man. Just so you know that, regardless of what happens, and your dad too. Are you guys still holding team meetings right now, or what has happened since the night that everything was put on pause?
Yeah, it was weird. So we were told to self-quarantine for a few days after that game, and after that game got canceled, and then to stick around town to see what would happen. NHL decision, and then the NHL gave us the opportunity to travel home or wherever it might be. Obviously, there's such a diversity. There's so much diversity in the locker room in terms of where guys are from, whether it's overseas, Canada. People are from all over. So I think everyone tried to get to home base as quick as possible to try and quarantine there. And then I think everyone's been home relaxing. We've been in contact with the team multiple times, and I think the team's done a great job of keeping in touch with us, and in terms of workouts and things to be doing. But in terms of team meetings, I mean, the rink's closed. We're not doing anything formally right now. It's kind of a waiting game just to see what will happen.
So the NHL is still working to get back on the ice at this point. What are you hearing, and ultimately, how are you staying in shape, knowing that you have to stay within the walls of your home?
Yeah, it's tough. You obviously get sick of the gym workouts, and I've been working out by myself, and you always like to work out with friends and buddies to help push it. It's always a lot better environment. So in terms of trying to stay in shape, I mean, I've been doing FaceTime video calls with different trainers and different people I work with during the summer, and just trying to have them talk me through different things. Obviously, you learn a lot through as many years as you've been working out, so a lot of exercises. And our team's been tremendous. Our team sent us a lot of stuff to do with minimal equipment. I am fortunate enough that I have a pretty decent little setup here at home, and I have enough room where I can get a real good workout in, and I have an exercise bike where I can condition. So in terms of staying in shape, it's been it's been nice. It's, like I said, it's tough when you're in the confines of your own home, but and in terms of the resuming of play, I really don't know. I said this yesterday on a call with NHL. It's tough to really map out where the league's going to be in a week or a few days or a month. You really can't pinpoint it, just because you really don't know where the world's going to be. We don't know where this thing's heading. Obviously, we're trying to do our part now to help slow the the spread of the virus down and do what we can, but you don't know. I think there's a lot of unknowns right now, and for us, it's just try and do our part to help to help stop the spread of this, and just try and flatten the curve as much as we can. And I try not to watch too much news and get too hooked on the numbers. Just try and do your part, and I think that might overwhelm you a little bit, but I think it's good for people to educate themselves on what's going on.
Mm-hmm. I will get you to the lockdown lightning round right here. Past or present, anyone through time, who would you most want to join your quarantine crew?
Oh, anyone? Are we talking athletes or what?
We're talking anyone throughout the world in history of time.
I gotta get someone funny. I'm gonna go with anyone past or present. I'm taking Chris Farley.
I think that's the second Chris Farley that we've had. We had two Chris Farleys. It's about entertainment, man. It's about entertainment at the end of the day.
You'd have me laughing the whole time. I just watched Black Sheep the other night. I was crying.
Oh man, it's all timer. All right, so would you rather have? Got one would you rather for you. Would you rather have Cheeto fingers for the rest of your life or a popcorn kernel stuck in your throat forever?
Probably the Cheetos.
What you gotta explain?
I just don't think I could have something stuck in my throat for the rest of my life. I think that would drive me nuts. I don't think I could do that.
Every time you touch something, you're getting Cheetos on it.
I would just, I would work with that, I don't think I could do the kernel in my throat.
You figure that out on the fly. So the third and final question, do you have a personal, protector? Do you have your own personal goon, or how does that work?
On the ice?
Yeah.
Not really. No, obviously, no, not now. I think the fighting in the league's gone down a lot. I think guys obviously stick up for each other, but in terms of fighting goons, it's they're a lot fewer than there used to be.
Are you an untouchable though? Like if somebody comes up a little late, cheap shot, like it's like the quarterback a little bit, right?
I mean, I think guys obviously take their liberties, take runs at at other teams' top players, and that's no different. I see other guys on other teams get the same business. I think it's just part of the game. Obviously, trying to slow the other team's top offensive guys down, and it's something you just need to try and learn to deal with, and not let them get under your skin.
Jack, we appreciate the time, man. Stay safe. Send all of our best from NBC to your folks as well as they're getting better and staying inside.
I will. Thank you very much. Thanks so much for having me.
So on our first episode of Distance Training, two guys able to hang with anybody in the world during their quarantine and both choose one Chris Farley. It's hard to blame them. For more on distance training, you can go to NBCSports.com or any of the NBC social handles. Until next time, I'm Jac Collinsworth.